In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the PHP Web Framework CodeIgniter to create your own web applications. Before we begin, quick reminder that every day I'll be hosting a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for more details. For example, what you do is you go to watch menu, then the live submenu. You can see, for example, the current live stream is the PHP Web Framework CodeIgniter, and you see the channel it's going to be on and the approximate date and time. And for each of the articles in that live submenu, there will be about 3 paragraphs beginning of the article. It'll tell you the exact date and approximate time. It's always going to be Eastern time. And you're free to ask questions about programming or related topics. And obviously, for example, this one is on this channel. So you click here, it will take you there and you'll be able to log in and ask questions. If you don't want to do that, you can still watch it. It's just below. There will be a video below somewhere in the article where you can watch. It's just embedded video. So what is CodeIgniter? CodeIgniter is a PHP framework designed to help developers build web applications quickly and effectively. So what that means is that if you use PHP for programming, it's already very good for to create frameworks. But sometimes if you're prototyping or you need something done very, very quickly, you need something, you need a framework. So what I mean, I'll explain what that means. So CodeIgniter follows the MVC. That's a model view controller, meaning that there's separation. There's a model, there's a view, and then there's a controller. So do I explain? Yeah. So for example, here, what's a model? That represents the data and business logic. For example, it interacts with the database. So that's called CRUD operations. That means it performs calculations and handle the data processing. And what's a view? That should be straightforward. The view is basically that's the display or the UI. That's basically the HTML, the CSS, and potentially some PHP for this, only for data representation. And what's a controller? So a controller is it's an intermediate between the model and the view, meaning that, for example, if you want to receive user requests, for example, like a form, that's what the controller is for. For me, for example, I've seen in my previous tutorial, for example, when I do forms, I call it form handler. So that's what this would be. So for example, it loads the modules, interacts with them to retrieve data, and then loads the appropriate views to display the results. So that's the model view controller. So some of you guys who are beginning to learn programming, you will see this MVC. That's what it means, the model view controller. Okay, so CodeIgniter also comes with built-in libraries to handle common tasks, saving development time. So for example, it integrates with the template engines, for example, such as Smarty. We'll probably do a tutorial on Smarty in a future tutorial as well. And then it can also be extended by third-party libraries, including your own helpers and plugins to customize the functionality to fit your project's specific needs. Okay, so CodeIgniter can be downloaded from codeigniter.com. We'll check out that website. Actually, let's go check it out right now. So this is the CodeIgniter website. You see, it's a small framework with powerful features. And for example, you can see it has been forked almost 2,000 times at the time of this recording. And as you can see, why you should use it. Now, if you're beginning, for example, to learn PHP programming, PHP might be a little bit overwhelming for you. For example, when I was learning PHP, CodeIgniter came up a lot. And by the time I actually started learning CodeIgniter, I was already very familiar with PHP, so I didn't need to. So, and then of course, you click here to download. And then see there's CodeIgniter 4, and then there's CodeIgniter 3. This is a legacy version for use with the PHP 5.6 plus, and CodeIgniter 4 is for if you're using PHP 8.1 plus, including 8.4, which is the one I have installed. So as you can see here, the initial release was in February 2024. I'm talking about the CodeIgniter 4 series. The current version is 4.6.1, and that's the one we're gonna actually download. So there's 2 ways to download this. You can see you can go and download the zip file. I just clicked it. If you notice the URL on the bottom left here, it says it's actually on a GitHub page. You can see there it's 4.6.1. So that's the one we're going to actually download. But there's another way you can also get CodeIgniter, and that is by using Composer. So that's the one I'm going to use. I'm going to use Composer instead of downloading it. But so you can see, oh, I didn't read this. I forgot this. It said you could download the version using the button below, but we encourage you to check the install section to use Composer. So I'm going to use Composer. But I said you can download the zip file, and then the zip. I'll show you what the zip file kind of looks like. So let's actually go back to the article, finish up here. So here's the code snippets we're going to use today. So CodeIgniter also comes with a development server. It's based on the built-in PHP web server. So this is how you create a view, create a controller, and a route. So I'm going to show you how to do all this soon. And you see this is how I created the project. Is just put the name there, and what else here? And then this is how to start the built-in web server. Just you type PHP Spark serve, and then this will install everything here for us. And this is how this is what my controller looks like, and this is what the view looks like, and the what's the other one? The route. And this is the result. So this, if you remember, during the AI series, I created a database and a database table called users with some content inside it. So we're just going to output that. So I think that will be a very good introductory to how to use CodeIgniter because for using the database. Now, the database configuration file is located at app/config and then the database.php. So you just go and you change the database information there. So obviously, this is for MySQL and or compatible databases, for example, like MariaDB. And of course, it's also open source under MIT license. So that's obviously a permissive license. PHP itself, the scripting language license under the PHP license, which is also permissive. All right, so let's actually get started. So I'm going to minimize this. And then I am going to show you where I have, you see, I did this previously, so I just renamed this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the console. All right, I'm going to make it bigger so you see what's going on. Come on. Okay. All right, so let me clear this and I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, great. Now so I'm going to use Composer. Composer, create project CodeIgniter 4/app starter, and then whatever name I want. So I'm gonna create a name called project root. So you see it created a project root here, and you see it's installing all this like PHP unit, myclabs, deep copy, the far.io, that's a manifest and the version, and you can see Sebastian, code unit, reverse lookup. So there's a whole bunch of tokenizer, PHP unit, all this is PHP unit, and see there's a whole bunch of stuff it's installing. And you see it's actually finished, and it says 11 packages suggested were added by new dependencies. Use Composer suggest to see details, and generate and optimize autoload files. 26 packages you're using are looking for funding. Use the Composer find command to find out more. No security vulnerabilities or virus is found. So that's actually pretty good. Now, I'm going to use the GUI now. So you see here, when you use Composer, you have app here, you have vendor, you have writable, you have public, and you have tests. So I believe that's the same as this old one. Yeah, they're exactly the same. So let's go back to project root here. Okay, so project root, you see you have a public folder, and you see there's only an index and a roots.txt file here. So the app structure is a little bit different. So you can see you have an environmental file here, and then and we also need to create. Remember, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go and change the database information. So to change the database information, if you remember from my from the article, you see here it says the database configuration file is located at app config database.php. So let's go there. So app, you see there's going to be a config folder, and then here this would be database, this one here. So let me open this up in NetBeans so you can see what I'm doing. NetBeans is loading up, and that's slow. Okay, NetBeans is finished up here, so I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to drag this database.config. I'm going to drag it in here so you can see it, and then what I'll do is I'm going to zoom in here so you can see a little bit better. So you see this is the database, and this is where you put the information. You see localhost and the username for the database, and that one, and the database user. Okay, and the database as well. Okay, and what the database driver is MySQL improved. That's fine. So everything else, the port number, I'll leave the default. So that's all fine. So if you're going to use SQLite 3, you'd obviously put this stuff. You'd comment that out and obviously uncomment this one. And if you're using another database like Postgres, you would obviously do the same thing, uncomment this, fill this stuff information. If you're using another type like SQL, I think this is for SRV, you do the same thing here. So there are multiple ones you can do. Because remember, PHP itself, it supports, I think it's 12 or 13 different databases like Oracle, etc., etc. So then you would, oh, I made a mistake, I apologize. So I guess you would, SQLite and all this stuff here. Anyways, so that's the database. So let me save that. All right, so next, I'm going to go back to the command line and make sure I start the database. MariaDB, start MariaDB. Okay, so the database is correct. So then, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to create my own route. So if we go to we go to app, and then we go to routes. So back here, app, then we go to routes, or I think the British call it routes. Where is it not here? That's weird, I don't see it. Project route. It's weird, I didn't see it. Did I make a mistake? Look, is there controllers? Controllers is here. Okay, controllers is here. So you see there's base controller. Let's actually look at this. And then there's the home controller. So if you see the base controller, it's very simple. It just says class home extends base This is the base controller. You see, that's all it is. And then all you do is you create, for the home one, it says namespace app controllers, and it home extends base controller and blah blah blah, and then index, and it just the view will be the welcome message. So I'll explain this later when we actually you know what, we can actually start the PHP server. I'm not going to start it yet, so I just want to show you that it says welcome _ message. So we can create our own what do you call it? We can create our own controller by using this as an example. So what I'm going to do is, if we go back to this home one, if we see the where is it here? Yeah. So let me create. So what I'll do is I'll copy this one. So I'm going to use Control V. I'll rename it, and I'm going to call it GAI table. I paste it in here. So I'm going to change this to GAI table. Extends controller and then index. And then here, this hasn't been created yet, but we'll create so GI table instead of welcome message. Yeah, so that's fine. So this is our controller. The index will just be this view. You can have multiple views, but this is perfectly fine. Next, let's go and find the routes. Wondering why the routes are not here. Do we need to create a view? We also need to create a view, but we'll do that later. I'm wondering where the routes are. Or maybe, is it not installed? Huh, that is weird. Yeah, that's weird. The route is not there. Let me actually go in the command line and check to see cd project route, and I'm going to see where the routes.php is. So find iname, and I'll say routes.php. Oh, it's in framework. Okay, so it's in the vendor CodeIgniter framework. Okay, that's where it is. So it's in vendor CodeIgniter 4 framework app, and then what? Am I crazy? It says framework app or config, and then the routes.php should be in here. Yeah, routes.php. So this is the routes.php. So we'll open this up, and you can see right now there's only one route, and the route is basically the index, and it says home index. So I'm going to change this. No, I'm going to leave it there. So I'm going to create another one. I'll just copy this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say GAI. I'm just making something up here. And then this would be table. Oh, sorry, I forgot to zoom in. Sorry about that. So you can zoom in so you can see. So now most of the instructions you're going to see, they're going to have older versions of CodeIgniter, and they will tell you, oh, this is what you have to do. No, but this is the proper way in CodeIgniter 4 to actually add another route. Okay, so that's how you do it. So now I have my route. Now we can go and create our view. So that's pretty simple enough. So to create our view, we get out of here, project root, we go here, and then we go to views, and you see there's only one view. Remember that welcome message? We go back to our, this one here. You see welcome message for in the controller. In this one, I'm going to call it guy table. Oops, forgot to zoom in as well. Sorry about that. It's a welcome message. So this one, close this one because we're not going to use it. And we don't even need the base controller anymore. Yeah, so this one, this is the view. I'm going to create this view now. So right now I'm going to copy this, Control V, and rename this to guy table. Oh, Gaia. Okay, so as you can see here, for the home page, the welcome message, you see it's pure HTML up here, and then it has some styles, and you see up here it says welcome to CodeIgniter 4. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to call it guy table results. You can call it whatever you want. So this is just an HTML. So, and there are some styles here. Okay, I'll create my own styles. I don't need any of this stuff here. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. I should just have created my own. Oh, there's a lot of styles there. So I don't need that. Actually, I'll come back to here. So what I really need is, you see there's a menu here. I don't need this menu, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then the content, there's no header section, so I'm going to just get rid of that. just going to be a section, and I think that's you know what, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. I don't need any of this, just the body. Okay, so remember this is a PHP file, so I can embed PHP anywhere in HTML. That's what I'm going to do here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a PHP tag. Oops, let me zoom in here. Okay, I think I can double click on this. Yes, there we go. So you guys, PHP. Okay, and then the PHP here, I'm going to connect to the database. So equals /config /database. Come on. What is going on here? What? Oh, caps was on. Connect. Okay, and then I'll create a SQL or query, which is going to be select all from users where age is greater than. So I'm going to use instead of hard coding the value here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some type of not sanitation, but some type of protection. So because if this was just user input, you need to sanitize and validate it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a query. Oops. Yeah, query equals db query SQL, and it has to be an array. So I'll put 20. So where the age is greater than 20. Now, I could have easily hard-coded this in here. The reason I didn't do that is I just want to show you how to protect how to protect your database from SQL injections. So as an example, well, obviously the number 20 I'm entering myself, which is obviously I can trust myself, but I'm just saying that that's one way to if this was like from a form, I wouldn't just blindly take that post or get and put it into the database. You should always escape it. Okay, and then now we can get the results. So for the results, that should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to actually put a table up here. Make this a table. And then this PHP will be inside that table. Oops, undo. Okay, so then what I need to do here is very simple. I can also put a head up here, so I'll put a T. I'll make a T head as well. So T head, and then the T head be one row, and then TH. So this will be ID. Next one will be username, and then this will be the name, and then the age. Okay, and then here the PHP. So what I should really do, I should actually make my own. I could probably make this is the view obviously, but I'm saying is I could obviously this part this should have actually be in some type of model or controller, but I'm just putting everything in the view. This is just a quick demo. So this will be I can actually use echo. You know what? I'm going to use my favorite. I'm just using Heradox. Okay, so tr. That's a row. Oops, I don't want that. So it's going to be a row, of course, and then inside each row, we're going to have table cell. So this table cell, the first one will be. Oops, I forgot something up here. So for each, query get result array as row. Okay, then after that here I just need to put end for each. Okay, and I closed up the table here, so that's fine. Okay, so the first table cell is going to be the ID, so that will be simple enough. Row ID. The second one is going to be the username. And this one is going to be name. And the other one will be age. Yeah. So that's it. Oh, we need to style this. So let's go style this up now. I don't need that. Okay, so I'm going to give, let me see what time it is. Wow, it's already half an hour. Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. This is not a styling tutorial, but I'm just going to put my own styles up here. Okay, so I've styled this. So now we can actually go, we should finish this. We don't need the ID anymore. Now back to the command line here. You see we're inside this folder. I'll show you which folder. We're in the public root. So in the public root, all you need to do is type, in order to start the PHP, the CodeIgniter PHP web server. Well, that's one of those weird things. So all you need to do, oops, what's going on here? Excuse me. So all you need to do is PHP. So you type PHP Spark serve. So you see when you do that, you see it knows that I'm using PHP 8.4.6, and it says go to localhost 8080, and that's where I'll see the CodeIgniter development server. So let's go back. I'm going to open up a different. I'm using Chromium here. So remember, it's localhost 8080, right? So you see it went to the welcome page. This is CodeIgniter, and went to the welcome page. Now you see it's telling you where the corresponding, this is just a welcome page, so it tells you where the welcome message, which you're seeing right now, and the corresponding controller for, which is home.php. Now you remember we created our own, and I could have put it up here in the menu. I probably should have done that. Should have put it up here so you can just simply click it, but I said I didn't want this tutorial to go too long. So if you remember, we have, for example, if I type /index.php, you see it still goes to this welcome message. That was in our controller. However, remember, we also created another one, which was guy table. Is it .php? I think it is. Oops, what name did I call it? I have to go back to here and see the route. Oh, guy, GAI. GAI. So if I just type GAI, oh, why is that not working? Did I make a mistake somewhere? Guy table index. Let me make sure I spelled this right. Oh, it's capital T. Yeah, this is it here. And then it goes to guy table. Why is that not working? My route is... Huh, that's weird. I don't know why that's not working. Oh, I do not know why that's not. Let me see if it says here index.php. Okay, I made a mistake somewhere. So let me see where guy table index. So this is the guy table. It goes to guy table. And this is the guy table. Did I save this in the right place? Yeah, it's in the views. So, okay, let's go make sure everything is saved properly. So we go to the views. Yeah, it's guy table gai_.php. Let me open up the welcome one. Maybe something is missing. Nope, there's nothing missing. I don't know why that's... Let me try something else. I'll comment this guy out. And let's try this. Ah, that is weird. It's still going here instead of the other one. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, let me restart the server. Nope. Doesn't matter. It's still hard-coded. So I must have made a mistake somewhere. The database is correct. It's not finding my route. Why? This is all saved. Just give me a second. I'm wondering why that is not working. It's let me go back to the article and make sure I saved everything correctly. Igniter route, router collection. Router collection. Yeah, that's correct. Oops. Yeah, this is my table.php. That's correct. And this one, guy table extends guy table. Did I maybe not do that properly? Yeah, return view guy table. Guy table. Yeah, so that's correct. Oops. That's a database. PHP Spark. Yeah, I don't know why that's not working. It's yeah, I don't know why that's not working. This is what it should look like. I don't know why that's not working. And well, let me try a hard reload. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's start again. Reload. Slash. Oh, localhost.com. I don't know what that is. So it's localhost 8080. Okay, and then I put slash GAI. Cannot seem to find. Okay, let me try something where I replace I don't know why it's not working, but that's how you... So this is my table here, and the routes are correct. Yeah, the routes are correct. See, it gets the home index, gets the table index. Oh, I think I know why. Is it a slash that's missing? Nope, that's not it. GAI. Okay, let me check my code one more time. Maybe I spelled something else. So GAI, and this is GAI, of course, and this is GAI table of controllers, guy table. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. This should actually work, but I do not know why it's not working. Guy slash PHP. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. Let me actually go check the screenshot I have here. Yeah, see, it says GAI. That's correct. So I don't know why. I do not know why it's refusing to work. But it should work. Once and there is no error message, which is also another nuisance. Yeah. So let me see how much time it is. Okay. So I'm gonna have to stop this. But if I do get it to work, I will I'll upload another video. It's probably something that is really weird that's not working. Yeah. So this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to grab this is when it's styled, and that's when it grabs that page. For example, let me actually zoom in here so you can see. See, it says it's just /GAI, and that's the page, but it's not. I am able to get the welcome message, but for some reason it's not going to any other page. For example, let me try FDD. That's fine. GAI. Yeah, it's not finding that page. I do not know why. The routes here. Yeah, the routes are not. Give me a second. Let me see if I can figure this out. CodeIgniter. Oh, there's a. Let me check the configuration file. So let's go to config, and this is for the database, which is fine. And let's check this up one here. So you see the base URL is let me zoom in here. The base URL is this one, which is actually correct. And string index pages, that one. I'm wondering if I should create another one. Index page. Oh, I have an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this code I made in a guide table, and I'm going to dump it into the welcome message, just to show you that you can modify it yourself. So let me see, recent file, welcome message. I'm going to replace this welcome message just briefly with this one here. Okay, and we should be able to see my results this time. So if I get rid of this, go back to the index. So you see, it's able to grab the, you're able to connect to the database, and the obviously get the username, the ID, and the ID, username, name, and age. So the only difference is I just zoomed in here. several times so you can see properly. So that's it. All right, so let's go back to the article. We can finish up here. Quick reminder that I have a live stream every day. Visit ojambo.com, go to the watch menu, live sub menu, where you can see the current and future post-dated articles, the channel they're going to be on, an approximate date and time. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. If you enjoy this, consider supporting me. Purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com. Enroll in my programming courses at ojamboshop.com. Buy my program books on Amazon. Search for ojambo. Links in the description. Hire me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com. And you can also become a donor at ojambo.com/donate. The donate button is also here in the fixed header. Okay, so there's no chat request, so I'm going to end this and